Hi guys, in this tutorial I'm going to be explaining something to you, but first, welcome and thank you for joining us today. If you're new in our channel, hello, and if you've been with us otherwise, thank you very much. But in this video I want to make a palazzo jumpsuit, a bit fitted but palazzo. Some of us think when we hear palazzo it's something that is so huge and there's some part of your body that doesn't need to be fitted. No, you can put on a palazzo trouser and still have the fitting area like around your hip area and around the waist angle, and fitted a bit around the bottom side and not too big like some of us see in some photos. So here I have the measurements of the palazzo. I'm going to list it out on how to take your measurements when you want to make a jumpsuit. They're the same process, just difference of measurements. First we have our length, we have our shoulder, we have the bust area, and we have the half length, which is where we have the joining of the half upper part and the down part, which is the trouser part and the half length. You definitely must have the hip area, the hip length, our sleeve length for the jumpsuits we are making, the round sleeve, the waist area, which is our waist. We have our thigh, and when we have a crotch measurement, the thigh and the crotch measurement at most times is where so many people have issues about where should each and of these measurements fall when they are taking their measurements. I'm going to explain to you on this material I have on the table here, where you have your crotch point, the measurement to take, and where to have your thigh measurement. And then we have the bottom measurement here, and then we have our knee length and also the round length, our round knee. Don't think because it's a palazzo doesn't mean you shouldn't have a measurement around that area. It just has to be all the way down big. No. So I'm going to explain to you in this video how to make a fitted palazzo. So guys, I'll be going straight to this table like that is in front of me and explain to you how to make a palazzo jumpsuit. Let's go. So guys, like I told you, this is the measurement I'm going to be working with. But for you to be able to take a proper palazzo measurement or a jumpsuit measurement, this is how it goes. You start with your length, the person's shoulder, the bust measurement, the person's half length, which is the shoulder to the waistline or the abdomen, then 3 inches upward, or you take 2 inches upward to get your half length. The person's waist, the hip length from the shoulder to the shooting part of the buttocks, which is the hip length. Then you take the person's round hip. Don't forget to take the round crotch. This area is very important. It's different from the thigh. After your crotch, you take your thigh measurement, the person's knee length, and the round knee and the bottom. So you look at this measurement very carefully. They are very important when you're taking a jumpsuit measurement. Yeah, this is for a jumpsuit. So even if you're involving your sleeve like I have here, but these particular parts are very important for you when you're taking a jumpsuit measurement. So guys, like this video, drop your comments, turn on the notification bell, subscribe, and then you're good to go with any video we drop here. So guys, I'm going to go straight to the table and then explain to you as this measurement goes on this material. Okay guys, here in front of you is my lovely pattern material. You can see the pattern is at the upside and the downside. This is going to be a lovely palazzo jumpsuit. So this is it. I don't like having this showing. You can see this is the surface edge of a material. I don't like having this showing at the waistline, so I'm going to be ruling this so this place will be the starting point of my measurement. You see, it's too big for me to be using as half inch. It's likely to show. I guess I should just leave it to seal in with the waistline measurement. So guys, this is it. On this I have my length as 60. I'm going to be minusing a half length, which is going to be 18 inches here. So this is my 18 inches. I'm going to place it on this point because here will serve as my sewing allowance. I don't need it, so I'm going to place my 18 inches here. And then my hip length says 26. I'm going to come to the 26 area and make it 26 and a half because I'm going to be sewing here. So I'll make it 26 and a half around this area, then bring my tape back and place it. See, I'm having 8.5 inches. I'm going to place my 8.5 inches all the way. I have my 8.5 inches here, and then I'll rule it out I hope you guys can see this chalk because it's almost the same color with my material. Please open up your eyes and then listen carefully so that you'll be able to see it. So now I've taken my hip length, which is giving me 8.5 inches here. The crotch point, or rather the crotch length, is where we always have issues on jumpsuits. I'm going to be coming down here and take my 3 inches, at most 3 inches, please. I'll take my 3 inches here and my 3 inches here. I'm going to be having in total of 11.5 inches, which is just okay for any jumpsuit to be relaxed around the flap area. So I'm going to take this ruler and rule out with my chalk. This is my crotch line, this is the crotch length, and this is the crotch line. For us to be able to achieve our tie, I'm going to come under my crotch line and take 2.5 inches. So this is it here, 2.5 inches all the way. I'm going to rule this out. This method has been very easy. I've never used this method and have issues about my flap popping out as if it's a man's clothes. No, the woman's area around the flap is meant to be looking relaxed and not puffing out. So I'm going to rule this out. We're going to start from this point as well to take our new measurement, and our knee measurement says 41. So I'm going to take my tape up again to my 18 inches and then place my 41 down here. So while I do that, I'll bring the tape down again so I can easily manipulate this area. From this point, it's giving me 23. Take it here, 23, because the person I have here, she's tall and a bit big. So I'm going to be taking my 23 inches and rule it out. So here serves as my knee length. Every other thing is to start taking measurements. So we've gotten our length at where each measurement will fall on, so we'll start working on the points. So starting from the waist angle, or before that, I'm going to come to this edge here and take 1 inch from the waistline down to the bottom of this material, which is the length. I'm going to do this. I'll take it all the way to this bottom here, and then I'll rule it out. You can take the ruling from the downside and you can take it from the upside. It's up to you where you want to take it from. So I'm going to rule this down. And so I'm done ruling. Yes, and then I'll come to the waist angle like I said before. I'm going to come to this point. You can see this is my 1 inch all the way down. I'm not going to be starting my measurement from here. I'm going to be starting from the point of this line. You see, and my waist here says 37. 37 divided into 4 will be giving me 918. You can see it here. I'll place it here. That's 9/4. This is my 37 here. I divide into 2. I'm right, 918. So you see, I'm going to place my 918 here, and then I'm going to be adding ½ inch to hold my flap, 1 inch to hold the side of my jumpsuit. In total of 1.5 inches. Can you see? So I have it there. Then I'll come to the hip area. My hip says 48, which I'm going to divide into 4. I'll do that this way. Like I did on the waist, I started from this point of the line, but on the hip area and the crotch and the thigh area, I won't be taking it from this point. I'll be taking it from outside of this area. So I'm going to be placing my tape here at my 178. I'll place it carefully and add my ½ inch to sew my hip area, and then I'll come down to the crotch line. The crotch line says 31. The crotch line I'm going to be dividing into 2. That is where we start having our trouser measurement divided into 2 and not into 4. So I'm going to start from this point here, not this line. I'll place it directly here, my 15.5. I'll mark it here, and then I'll go to my tie. My tie says 29.5. I'm going to place it this way, divide it as well into 4. Into 2. Can you see I've divided into 2, and then I'm going to place it from here as well, from that point. And then you can see your crotch is meant to be a bit bigger than the tie. Can you see? It's not meant to be all the way. No, that's not how it's supposed to be. So I'm going to leave my measurement this way, and then I'll come to my knee area, which is my knee length, having my knee line in front of me. My round knee says 24. 24 divided into 4 will be giving me 12. No. Oh, sorry. 24 into 2. I think I like the fact that I'm dividing everything into 4. But no. Here is meant to be divided into 2. So it's giving me 12. That's why I have the word 12 instead of my 6. So you can see I'm placing this on this. But I won't be having it just because of these other ones are from here. If not, this palazzo will not have a little shape on the body. So you can see this is the line where I'm starting from. Instead of here, I'm going to place this here, and then come to this point and connect them carefully. Connect carefully, just like we have our regular trousers. And then I'll come to the bottom. The bottom says 24, which is the same 12 I have at the knee length. I'm going to have my 24 down here as well. Now take it up here. I'm going to take it up all the way as well, my 24. So I'm going to do this down here, and I'm going to connect it real good. Yes, around this area is where we're going to be having the main palazzo issue. But before that, let me connect this, the waistline with the hip area. Connect it down to the crotch line. This is it. And then I'll take my tape and take my 1 inch up and connect this way from the hip angle. I'll connect it, and then I'll come to this offside and slant by 1 inch to meet the waistline. So you see this guy is off already, no need. So I'm going to take my hip curve and then shaping this out. So you see palazzos also have shape. They're not meant to just looking loose and big on the body. So I'm going to take this and stop here. So you see I took my 12 inches from inside of this point here. I'm going to come out a little by ½ inch here and do the same all the way down, and so I'll take my ruler from this point is where I'm going to be stopping, but I'll connect from the downside, connecting my ½ inch, I keep going up, I go up, and then connect to this part. This is the inner leg of the trouser. You can see it's looking shaped out, and then I'll come to this side and add another ½ inch, another half, add half again, and then I'll do this for my tie. I'll take it down carefully. I'll take it down, and I'll take it down and all the way down. So when you're looking at this measurement, you see a fitted trouser inside of it and a palazzo coming out of it as well. Not because it's a palazzo, it has to be too big on the body. So I'm going to be shaping this out so you see what the shape looks like while I bring this out. But before that, I'm going to be taking a measurement of everything down here, which is now 13 inches. I'll fold this and my hemming allowance of 1.5 inches. I'll fold it this way. Take my tape. I take my 1.5 inches, and this is my 1.5. So I'll go all the way up this way. So you see, I'm going to fold it as well again. Start from here. Take it all the way up. And you see that this area is a bit fitted, but the down is loose. So I'm going to take this up to meet the waist area. You see? And I'm going to remove the slant area. That's it. And then my flap out. Voila! Can you see, guys? It's fitted around this area and loose around this area. Can you see? So I'm going to be placing it at the back and all measurements out. But before that, we're going to go through our measurements again. This is our hip plus half. The cross says 15.5 directly, no extra measurement. This is 29.5 inches here, and then this is our round knee and extra measurement to it. This is the bottom and extra measurement to it. So I'm going to be taking this and place at the back, and then do our finishing at the cutting of the down part, and then show you how to cut the half length side. Okay guys, I have placed the front side on the back. You can see this is the front, and then this is the back. So like I said, the owner of this clothes is a bit tall. We use the whole of the material. You might have found yourself in this kind of situation whereby the whole material is the length of the person, and then you still need your extra inches around here to be able to connect like we have on our trousers and our jumpsuits, so that it will be able to relax at the back side of the clothes. Not to worry guys, in issues like this, instead of being frustrated around this area, why not make the seat area more comfortable? Instead of using 2.5 inches here, make it 3 inches, or rather even make it more, so that when the person sits, it won't affect this area of the person. So what I am going to be doing right now, I'm going to be adding 3 inches around this area. I'll come here and add my 2 inches. I told you this method is a very simple method. That is why you should go and you should go and watch this video, like it, subscribe, drop your notification, turn on your notification bell, drop your comments, and the other stuff you like to know about us. You can check us on Facebook. You see our videos there, you see our pictures there, and that's it. So the only thing I need to do now is to add extra 2 inches all the way down. If this trouser were to be too big, like the down part, which is the trouser part, were to be too big, I'm going to be having just 1.5 inches to add at this downside. But since I'm using a bit fitted one, I'm going to be adding 2 inches so that each measurement will fall at the right part. So I'm going to be connecting these 2 inches from the bottom side up to the knee area up, and then I'm going to connect to the 3 inches like this. So you see, so this place doesn't really have issues if you cannot find the measurement there. So this place becomes our seat area. I'm going to come here and curve this. You can use your hip curve to curve. You can use your armhole curve, or you can use your free hand. So around this area, if you remember, I added 1.5 inches at the front side, which is going to serve as 1 inch that allowance here. Remaining ½ inch, I'm going to be adding extra 1.5 inches here. So I'll be having my sewing allowance and my zipper allowance inside of here. So I'm going to take it all the way down, 1.5, 1.5, and then I'll connect with my ruler like this, and then take it this way. You can also rule to this bottom anyhow you like, and so I'm going to connect it down to this area of the seat. That's SEAT, that is the seat of a trouser. So I'm going to take that, and then my remaining little measurement here, I'm going to use it as well, and then slant the waist angle of my trouser. So I'm going to be cutting this out. You can see the method is very easy, not too much protocol or stress. I'll cut this out. So soon we're cutting it out. So for the back, I'm going to be taking it up a little. You see, we're done cutting out the back side, and then my zip allowance is going to be 1.5 inches. I'll come here and take my dart allowance, the same measurement I'm going to be using for the half length. So I've cut out, notch out my dart point. So I'm going to be taking this off so I can cut the half length for you to see. So this, guys, aside. So guys, this is the part for the half length. I'm going to be taking my half length measurement now so we can connect it to the downside of the jumpsuit. My measurements here, our half length says 18 inches, which I have here. I'm going to place my 18 inches here and roll it out. So this is my 18 inches. I'm going to be adding my half that I'm going to slant out from the shoulder. Like so many of you know that I like to slant with 1.5 inches. So this is my half that will be going off from the shoulder, and then I'll add my sewing allowance of 1 inch here, 1/2 inch to hold the shoulder and half to hold the bottom side. So in total of what I have here is 1.5 inches. I'm going to mark it down here. So then I'm going to roll out. So this is the measurement I'm going to be working with here, in total of 19.5 inches. So I'll place my tape here. Our shoulder says 17. I'm going to be placing my 17 direct here, and then add my ½ inch for sewing allowance. In total of 18 I have here, and I'm going to slant my shoulder by 1.5, which I already have here. I'll slant it to the midpoint of my neck or my back. So this is it, my shoulder or my back. So I'm going to be using a V-neck on this clothes. So we will be using the wideness of my V-neck. I'll be using 5 inches here. And then if you observe something, my measurement has gone short. So you see, so if I work with my half here and work with half here, I'm still getting back to my 18 inches. So guys, I'm going to be taking my armhole measurement. I'll be using 8.5 inches here. I'll roll it out, and then I'll take from this point as well. This is where my starting point begins, from the neck, the wideness of my neck, which becomes my neck point. I'm going to be taking my bust length as 11, and then I'll roll it out for you to see. And then That's it, because I'm using a regular dart on this jumpsuit. I'm not using a princess dart or any other dart on it. I'm using a regular dart on it. So I'm going to just stop at this point, and this is my waistline. So I'll start taking my measurements, starting from the chest area. This is my 9 inches, which is happening around the shoulder area, so that I can connect real good. So I'll roll it down to the armhole length. I take my 1 inch to curve the armhole, and then my 5 to take off the excess around the armhole area. And so I'm going to be taking my bust measurement. It says 41.5 inches. So this is my 41.5 inches. I'll divide it into 4. And so it's giving me 10/4. I will place it here. And add my sewing allowance of 1.5 inches. I'll come to the waistline. It says 37, which is giving me 9/4 here. And then I'll add my sewing allowance, my dart allowance of 1 inch, and then my sewing allowance of 1.5 inches. And then I'll connect this all the way to the waistline. So you see, then I can curve out my armhole using my armhole curve or freehand. Any of them that serves for you, use it. So this is my armhole. I'm going to curve all the way to this side, to the shoulder point. So can you see? So now, since my neck is going to be a V neck, I'm going to be taking the depth of my neck from this point, my shoulder point. This is shoulder point, my back point here. I'm going to start from here. I'll take the depth of my V neck to be 8.5, and then slant it out like this. So you see my shoulder is still looking relaxed. When I'm sewing with 1/2 inch, everything just corresponds. So I'm going to be cutting this out. So you see what I've been drafting on this material. So this is it. I don't like having all this on my material when I'm done sewing. So I'll take it up and curve it out this way. Then I'll take my neck and I'm done with that. I'll come to the center and notch so that I can be able to connect with my front flap, and then my dart point says 4.5. I'm going to come to the front and place my tape here and mark my 4.5. So when I'm done sewing with my 1/2 inch at each side, it's going to be giving me 4 inches remaining. So you can see, because I'm working with an nipple point, this is my 4.5. If I work with 1/2 out, it will remain 4 inches. 1/2 is going to be around this area, and then I'll take my dart length, and then we're good to go for the front part of the 1/2 length. I'll place this and cut out the back part. So because I need this lovely pattern for the sleeve area, I'm not going to be using this side so much. I'll be using little of it around the back. So I'll place the material for the back this way and take the front area and place on it, so the design stays like a band, just a little around it. And so guys, if you've observed something about V-neck clothes, when you make a V-neck clothes at the front side, when it gets to the back side of your material, don't always make the same wideness of the measurements you have here. V measurement can be very funny. After sewing it, they expand very funny that you don't even know what to do next. So before I come to this point and explain real good, I'm going to be taking my zipper allowance of 1.5 inches all the way down to the waistline, and then I'll rule it out. So this is it, and then I'll come here. So back to the neck area, you can see I took 5 inches for the neck here. I won't be taking 5 inches behind, I'll be taking 5/4, making the back a little wider than the front side, because when you finish sewing this, you find out that it's now wider than the back, so you need the back to be a bit wider than the front side. I don't know if you've had this issue, but some people have issues with v-neck and connecting to the back side neck of their clothes. So I'm going to roll this out to make this starting point of this place. So I'll take my neck measurement of 2 inches because I want the back neck to be high. Then I'll connect it this way to the back. I'm not going to increase the shoulder area, just the neck area, and then I'll come to the zip area here, from this point around the zip area, which is then I'll take an underbust of 14.5 inches. Around this area I'll take my 1 inch here and then connect it to my waistline, just like you're taking an excess off the back, so you won't be having zip bulge around that area when you're done sewing your zip. So I'm going to connect this here and cut this out, so you see what this place looks like a dart. Connecting down to the waist, and I'll cut out the waist measurement. And then the back neck, I'll do this. And then don't forget the half you took out of that 5 inches at the front side, you return it and then cut this way, so the back will relax. We all know the back does not have the shooting out area unlike the front side of our clothes, so we need to return that ½ inch we took out of the front back to the back side. Yep. So this is it. I'm going to notch my zipper point around the waist and then at that point. So guys, that's just it for the cutting of our jumpsuit, our palazzo jumpsuit. We're done with our cutting. This is the bottom side and this is the half length side, which is the up side, like the top area, and then this is the trouser part. Okay, thank you for joining me in my today's video. Like this video, drop your comments, turn on your notification bell, subscribe, and also follow us on our Facebook channel. We'd like to see you in our next class. Alright guys, bye.